Hello, everybody. Bruce here from IDO. We'll be with you very shortly. We're just going to give folk a few more moments to join, and then we will get started. So hang tight. We'll be there soon. All right. So that is hopefully enough moments for folk to join. So, with any luck, you can all hear me and you can all see my screen. If I can get someone to just confirm that in comments, then I will kick off, which hopefully I can see. I can see some comments already, which is good news in LinkedIn. I should be able to bring them up on screen as well. Okay, looking good. All right, let's kick off. Thank you, everybody, for joining today, where we're going to take a look at software metering, essentially, which is a very much missing feature in Microsoft Intune. But the good news here is that we here at IDO are bringing it back. For those of you who don't know me, to set the scene, I'm Bruce Cullen. I'm Chief Product Officer here at IDO, and I'll be taking you through today's session. Let's start with the basics. What is software metering? So I started off by asking ChatGPT this very question, and this is what I got. Software metering is the process of monitoring and analyzing the actual use of software applications on individual devices and across a network to understand who uses what and how often and for how long. So in other words, who's using what tools and how long are they using them for? And why is this important is the next question. So then you know what people are doing, but you don't know why they're doing it. Why is this important to you? The nub of it is as to why do software metering in the first place is essentially to save you money. And there are a good few use cases for why this kind of matters that I'm going to sort of take you through today. Starting off with the classic case of Java, going back to 2023, I think this one was, so 3 years ago now, where Oracle obviously have owned Java for some time, and they changed their licensing model. So now they require for JRE that you have a license for all employees within your organization if you have Java running for a single employee. So in other words, you could be liable for a bill for your entire organization for all of your users if a single copy of Java SE is running. So very important use case, potentially very expensive. But we also have the more kind of everyday use cases of just highly expensive apps that are being used essentially. So we've got tools like Adobe Illustrator and AutoCAD that are just expensive to use. We had someone we were speaking to over the course of building the functionality we've built who said they use Bloomberg, and a Bloomberg license was, I think they said $2,000 a month, which is a lot of money. So that the use case for software metering is very clear. It's all about saving you money. So what have you got? What are your options as far as software metering today is concerned? Well, to answer this question, I'm going to take you back in time to 2003. You'll see why this is relevant in a moment. So just to set the scene, this is what's going on the global stage. So we had the Iraq War with troops on the ground in Iraq, so clearly a large event in sort of global terms. This would have been the sort of laptop you would have had in the day. This is a Dell Latitude D400, I think. I had one of these back in the day, running Windows XP, of course, with a 3D Space pinball on. Very good fun. That's the kind of device you would have had. Your phone would have been something like this. This is the Nokia 6310i. I'd wanted one, but I did not have one, sadly. I had something older. The car you would have been driving would have been something like this. This is a Vauxhall Astra or Opel Astra, depending on where in the world you are located. It actually shipped with those raindrops attached to it firmly. It was not a nice car, lots of dreary plastic, and but you did have knobs and dials, which is kind of nice. But the reason why 2003 is relevant and why we're talking about it is because in 2003, Systems Management Server 2003 was released, or SMS 2003, which is relevant because it's the very first release of what became Intune, what became SCCM that has software metering. Oh, I see comments around voice issues. I'm just going to check everyone else can hear me quickly before I carry on. I don't have to mess around with LinkedIn settings quickly. If I can just get confirmation that everyone else can hear me before I continue. And try and checking myself at the same time. The joys of a live webinar versus a pre-record. I think that Restream can hear me, so I'm going to carry on and hope that everyone can hear me. All right. So in 2003, we had, for the very first time, software metering. Winding forward the clock now to 2025. In 2025, setting the scene. So on the global stage, we have Trump's tariffs. They're still kind of raging. They're still causing us problems. Trading between countries very much dominated the global stage. In tech, this is now your device. It looks at a high level largely similar. So this is a Copilot device, Copilot plus PC laptop with AI built in, much lighter, better battery life, significantly faster, but fundamentally the same. Not this, the same is not true for your phone. So now we've got this, I think we're on the iPhone 17 now off the top of my head. I'm an Android user, as you can tell from that comment, with multiple cameras and all the apps you could possibly need built into it. But with the sort of caveat that it doesn't have the battery life of phones of old. Cars have advanced significantly. We have touch screens now. We have EVs. This is a Kia EV6, for example. But as far as software metering is concerned, we're still left with the same old options. We now have Config Manager. Now, a number of you that I've come across at events or conferences are using Config Manager alongside Intune just for software metering, as it's not available in Intune. What's going on with Intune? I hear you cry. Well, this is a comment from Reddit that sums it up quite nicely, effectively. Exactly this pain point. I'm currently decommissioning SCCM. I found solutions for almost all of my problems apart from software metering. Any recommendations are greatly appreciated. And that's the state of things for Intune until today. We are bringing software metering back for 2025. So modern and based on top of Microsoft Intune. The idea is that with a single click, we can give you 360-degree visibility of all of your software and, of course, who's using what, which is super, super important. And, of course, with the ability to customize thresholds for each app. So you can specify on a per app basis when it was last used, is how you would define whether an app is marked as red, amber, or green. And of course, we can see how frequently it was used. So you can see that in this case, Figma was last opened a day ago, and it was opened 26 times and for a large number of minutes, as an example. Also, we give you context-sensitive insight because that's in the context of all your applications. Now, looking at this in the context of a single device, we can see the state of our metered and non-metered apps in one place, alongside all of our compliance and patch information. Sounds good. Sounds like magic, but how does it work? Is it secure? Well, I'm going to answer all those questions in today's webinar. It is deployed via PowerShell script, which is positive because it means there is no true agent. Obviously, there is still processing on the device, but there is no true agent because this is deployed and operated via PowerShell scripts. Now, the other great advantage of PowerShell scripts is that it's open and transparent. You can see what it's doing, and how it works under the covers is via scheduled tasks. So periodically, the device with its scheduled task, will send the data that needs to be sent back to us, which is only open and closed information for software that you have chosen to meter. And from a security perspective, it is X509 certified. So, of course, that means it is secure. And that sounds great, but that's enough slides. Let's see it in action. I'm going to jump across now to my demo lab, which is in one of these tabs. Let's try this one. And this is IDO. I would guess that some of you guys have seen this before. So you've got a high level overview of what it is and how it works. But at a really high level, here we have an overview of all of your devices. By states, we've got config, compliance, app issues, OS patching information, warranty information, all in one place. And all the data for everything you see here is coming from MS Graph. Anything you can see here, you can drill down into, so you can get the details on a specific app. So let's say I wanted to look at issues with my CloudStrike not being installed on Windows. I could drill in. Oh, it's going to make me reauth because this has been sat here for too long. Give me a second. So I can drill down into my CloudStrike issues and I can see just those devices that have this issue. I can drill into those devices. On my Managed Apps tab, I've got my CloudStrike issue alongside any other issues that might be present on this device, as well as patching information as well. But we're not here to look at that. There's loads of things I could show you in IDO. What we're going to look at specifically is software metering. And for that, I'm going to go to my discovered apps down here. And we're going to focus specifically on those that I've already set up metering for. Now, sadly, for my demo use case, I think, oh no, maybe not quite yet. Okay, so Figma is the app I'm going to look into. So Figma was last opened on my device 12 days ago, and it has been opened 47 times over the last 30 days. For a total of that many minutes. If I go into app metering here at the top, we have all the settings we need here. So when was the app last opened is how we define the notion of red, amber, and green. So here I can define amber as opened 1 day ago. I could change this to be whatever I want. Let's set it to 1 day and red to be 2 days. 12 days is obviously greater than 2 days, so it's marked as red. The other very important thing in here is the path to the application. Now, this could be just the executable name. Now, let me just open Figma so you can see this is somewhat real and there's no smoke and mirrors in here. So Figma is open. If I go into Task Manager now, which is going to open, you will see, I'll minimize Figma because we don't care about its contents, and I drag Task Manager onto the right screen over here. The header of the window is just off screen, which is annoying. I'm fighting with multi-monitor. I'm just going to do it with my keyboard like that. There's Figma, and you can see here that Figma is in fact running. And if I go to details, you'll see the executable name of Figma will be figma.exe. Somewhere in my list of devices, there you go, figma.exe. It spawns multiple instances of the process, but that's the process itself. So I've just specified in my application path figma.exe, which will work fine. If you have apps that are really specific and require, maybe they run from temporary directories and you only want one that runs in a specific location, one instance of that executable, you could provide a full file path in here. Let's say you have an executable that we've come across examples where they include the version number in the executable name. So you can't just simply have executable name. Because it changes, it auto updates. You might want base name *.exe. That can be specified with regular expressions, which are well documented and public. So we cater for a good number of use cases here. The other thing you can see in here is my license count metering at the top. Now, this is related, but it isn't true software metering, but it's definitely in that same area. So here I've said that I've got 5 licenses in total for Figma, and to let me know when I get close to this, when I've got 3 used as amber and 4 used as red. And if I close this, you'll see that for Figma, I've got 2 installs, so I'm using 40% of that count. Of my 2 devices that it's on, 50% of them are red, etc. So that's all the information in IDO as far as software metering is concerned. Now, this we've been looking at my device here. If I go and find my device and see this in the context of the device itself, so my device is IDO 9902 from memory. I hope I get that right. Yes, I do. So for my device, I can see all the properties of it. This is a Dell XPS 15. I've got my warranty information. I've got a relatively new device. Only 8 months ago, this thing was new. I've got 4 months left on my warranty. We're still good there. Patches. That's a refresh issue, I suspect, but I should be seeing all the patches that are installed and are missing. I bet you if I click off and back to the tab, it will display. And we've got compliance issues, config policy issues, of which there are none, luckily, and managed apps as well. And then we've got all apps. So on all apps, I see the data we were looking at in the context of Figma. So I can see that Figma was last opened 12 days ago. Obviously, I have just opened it, but this is a scheduled task, so it will periodically send that data back. And it's been used for this many minutes, etc. And you can see the other apps I have metered on this device as well. If I now go into scheduled tasks, I can show you the scheduled task, and we're going to run it. And this is where I hope that I get my live demo right here. And if I scroll down to the bottom of my list of scheduled tasks, this one here, process metering task, this is the one. We're going to manually run this now. And we're going to refresh. It should go into state running. It is in state running, positive. Good news, but essentially you'll see that the next run of this would have been at 14:08. So that's in just under an hour's time. And what I'm expecting to see is that when this is completed, if I go back into IDO, and this is why I could be a fool for doing a live demo. Let's see. And we'll filter back on our metered tools and we'll find Figma again. That it's not worked. Well, the intention is that that's meant to update, but that is a scheduled task that will run periodically, and that is how it works under the covers. The obvious question I get is sort of what process, what privileges does it require? So this runs as system, and that is software metering. So I'm going to go back to slides now quickly to wrap up. So to summarize, we bring software metering back into Intune, but that is not it. Intune itself does not show you easily the full picture. We have, of course, got config compliance issues in there, managed app issues, and patch issues as well. But when you go into that list of devices, everything is shown as green and as compliant, whereas you might have patch issues, devices missing patches. We are Intune reporting done right, and now with the power of software metering as well, bringing you custom dashboards and reporting, making sure that all your tools are connected with incidents and alerts for anything where there are issues. We are multi-tenant compatible and ready for the MSP, and now with software metering. We're also ISO 27001, 9001, and Cyber Essentials certified. So all that's left to do now is to signpost you to ido.cloud/sign up to get a 30-day free trial now. Of course, the QR code will take you there, but the link will take you there as well. So please do that and give IDO a go for yourself. Now, with that, I'm going to see whether there are any questions. I'm going to have a look in the chat. They should come into the back end of my tool so I can bring them up on screen. And because I've been talking for a while and I've only just asked the question about questions, I'm going to give you a moment to ask them. And in the meantime, I'm going to put my demo lab up onto a different screen so I can hopefully have a look at what's going on here with my Discover app. I'm guessing it's a refresh issue, but let's see if there are any questions in the meantime. I do not see any questions. All right, so in which case, thank you very much for watching. If you have any questions on anything to do with software metering or beyond, please do not hesitate to contact us. We're at hello@ido.cloud. And of course, you can get yourself a trial at ido.cloud/sign up. So until next time, thank you very much. Goodbye.